side of the temperature. It's freezing. The other classroom is so hot. What's up, guys?
Hey.
How are you?
I'd say my question, but I can't hold
It's okay, we'll send her answer.
Can you tell me a little bit, what was it like working with Elizabeth Banks like that? What she's like as a director on set?
She's wonderful. It was kind of a lovely progression for us because in the first film she was so much our champion and so involved in getting it made in the first place, and so just having her step into that director role felt very natural to all of us, and having someone who feels like a peer but that we respect so much just made us all feel comfortable enough to do our best work. It was pretty ideal.
Yes, I agree as well. I think she's become a good friend to us, and that can be troubling because you worry if that informality is going to be a problem, and then she commands so much respect, so you never worry with Elizabeth. I mean, she's just the perfect person in the perfect place for this film, and I think she's going to go on to direct many films.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the film.
Thank
I'm wondering
you.
if there's anything that you discovered about your characters this time around that you didn't know before, because there has been that 3-year break.
I think for me, because Benji is such a character in the first film, he's sort of just this very sort of heightened guy, and he's got this magic thing and the Star Wars thing, that in this film it was about sort of discovering what he's like as a real fleshed out person, and of course he still has his quirks, but that's not the entirety of his character. He's also a guy who loves a girl and who wants to impress her, and I think that was just discovering that Kay gave us such a beautiful platform to create full people, not just these really fun characters.
There's a storyline that was shot between Jesse and Becca that they did not end up going with, and that is a very telling evolution of Jesse. I don't want to say it because maybe they'll use it in another time. Number seven. Page 7. But all I'll say is Jesse became successful in what he was trying to do in the first film.
With a film like this, I imagine it's pretty much you have to kind of go strictly by the script, but did you have an opportunity to do any kind of improvisation? And can you talk a little bit about that? And also, when it was time to not laugh, did you ever get a moment where you just couldn't control yourself and just started laughing? And can you talk about that?
Definitely lots of improv in this film, and that was another great thing about having Elizabeth be the director. Her background is in so much great comedic improv film, For Your Virgin and Wet Hot American Summer. It's just for me, this time the nice thing about it was that we all felt more comfortable together. So we felt comfortable to do our own. Because when you work with Rebel Wilson, it's a little intimidating. She's a wonderful improviser, but this time we all felt confident enough to throw our hats in the ring and do whatever lines we had. And in terms of not keeping a straight face, David Cross has a really great guest moment in this film, and that entire sequence while we were shooting was very difficult to keep a straight face because he's just such a comedic genius, and he was just throwing us so many hilarious things, and hopefully they found enough useful footage.
I had a mini scene with Adam Devine at the party, and it's a moment where I call him out for being slightly inappropriate, and he blows up at me. And when Adam, hits that pocket where he's rageful but also being hilarious, I think there was one moment where he took his shirt off, went full on cross-eyed, and was screaming bloody murder in my face. So that was very hard to keep a straight face for. Probably why I didn't end up in the movie, because we probably never got it successfully without either of us busting out.
Yes. One of the things I love about these films is the selection of songs covered in the film. So, question for both of you: what songs did you wish had Troublemakers covered in this film, or you hope Troublemakers would cover in the next Pitch Perfect film? Do you have any favorite songs?
I want Stevie Wonder, Higher Ground, somewhere in there.
Maybe some Sam Smith next time around, that'd be nice. I'm a big Sam Smith fan. Something a little, because the Troublemakers of this time, our purpose is very much to just reestablish, the down-home collegiate acapella, and it would be nice next time to do something a little more vocal, just because we are actually singers, so it'd be cool to do something a little more vocally.
Where's our explosions, Who run the world? Travels. Travels is
tell us anything about the outtakes, maybe? Like how many, you mentioned about how there were a couple like missteps, and not missteps per se, but just goofing around and everything, so some things don't make it in, some things make it. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah, there's a couple of moments where we'll film a scene and then we'll film the reactions of particular people to that scene, but the people that are doing the scene that's being reacted to aren't necessarily there, so it's somebody just kind of as a placeholder. And so it's difficult to keep a straight face when you're having like emotional reactions to like a PA who's like, this is where Rebecca is standing. So like, I think moments like that is just difficult to take super seriously, but hopefully we pull it off.
Yeah, we both have a theater background, and we're getting more and more used to the filmmaking process, but it's a little bit more of a puzzle, where you kind of start in the middle and figure it all out, and then the edges get smooth at the very end. And that's always an interesting learning process, and but we're playing pretend, so I think we're doing it pretty well.
So this film is indicative of some progress behind the scenes in Hollywood with the amount of female cast members, women in the director's chair. So as I wouldn't call you the token males.
Please call me.
But what was that experience like to be on sort of a movie that is driven by so much female energy and empowerment?
It's wonderful. The thing about this particular movie is that we've all become such a family that it almost doesn't even register to us like women, men, like who we all, it's just this wonderful group of characters that we've all come to be so comfortable with. And so the fact that it happens to be that a large percentage of those characters are female is a wonderful thing, and I'm happy to be part of something that's, getting us in the right direction as far as that's concerned. But in terms of just like the reality of doing the movie, to us it's just all our friends together doing something funny. So, boy, girl.
In forums like this, you can easily call it, and I'm sure we're encouraged to call it a girl movie, but really at the core, it's an ensemble film. And that's what's so exciting, is that to us it doesn't feel like anything. I mean, all the surrounding elements are very revolutionary, and it's really exciting to be part of that. But, I mean, these people, we've grown very close over the past, few years.
So guys, what is it like to play a supportive yet strong and independent boyfriend to such a strong female lead?
We're setting the bar way too high.
Yeah, we're all in.
I don't know why.
For all, especially awkwardness, like it's not always as charming as maybe Emily lets it be in terms of Benji. So like, definitely don't take that as a lesson, but.
Yeah, like I said before, there's a moment where there's no love triangle that was removed, like don't worry, but there was definitely a little bit of conflict between Jesse and Becca, a little bit of a life decision that was in their way, and as when it all came together, I think they realized like Jesse could just be kind of more of Becca's support system in this film. But I really hope that lives somewhere, whether it's on the DVD or they save it for when we do Pitch Perfect 2.5, which is going to be follow the Lion King module.
Just turn the camera to the troubles at the same time. What was happening with them?
Yeah. How did they get to Copenhagen? Did Benji lose the ticket in a Magic? TM, yeah. Heard it here first.
Hi Ben, so when you were reading the script, when you read that you were going to be the love interest to Haley's character, how excited were you?
Very, very excited. It's a new thing for me. I to get that sort of different storyline, especially since in the first film he's sort of a very stock character. I mean, he's a wonderful character. I love playing Benji, but I assumed it would sort of be along the same lines of like providing like a bit of magic and a bit of comic relief, and But it's nice because you get to see him be a real guy, growing up as a real man, and it's nice to see a character that's not necessarily your average square jawed leading man getting a beautiful girl. It's wonderful, I think.
How did you prepare with Haley? Did you meet up with her before shooting?
Well, no, the first time I met her was when we got down to Baton Rouge together, but she is like the pro of pros. She's been working since she was 13, 14, Oscar nom, and she was like an infant, and so it's like, it's for me,
She was like one more Oscar nom than both of us.
Yeah, like just one more. But it was very. For me, it was easy because I just kind of could follow her lead, and she's so comfortable on camera and at making connections with people that it was, of course, apprehensive because she's the only new cast member, and that's who I was doing most of my scenes with. But as soon as I got down there, I was like, wow, she's really going to make this incredibly easy. So it was wonderful.
Did you guys have to chemistry test, and did you help Haley with the singing? Because she has a lot to do in this film.
We did not actually chemistry test because I think as soon as they were like, Haley Steinfeld wants to be in this film, she was in the film. But as far as singing, I didn't know she could sing either. I think that's something she's kind of been saving in her back pocket, and it's cool to get to hear her sing this because she's got a really beautiful voice. And so I think as far as helping her, you know, all I could do was be supportive and hear her sort of like singing quietly off set to herself and be like, that, you sound incredible, you should really, you know, incorporate that, you know, use your voice. It's an awesome voice because, you know, obviously she was intimidated coming into this already established family of lots of great singers, and so, you know, she came up really beautifully.
Okay, do we have any final questions? Keeping off on that, when you said great singers, is there a chance that maybe any of you will be coming out with a CD or a musical, anything that we can probably look for on Spotify or?
Yes, I'm doing a new musical this summer called Dear Evan Hansen at Arena Stage in Washington, D.C. That's hopefully going to move to Broadway after that. And there will be a cast album in the near future, so keep an eye out for that. Sing along with that. You can hear the first opening number online. It's called Waiting Through a Window. It's on Bryce Hilton and SoundCloud. So, yeah.
And he sounds incredible on it.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah. I don't have any formal plans to do any sort of album or solo situation. Just because I've been writing music and playing piano since I was 5, and I just don't know what story I want to tell yet. But it is inevitable and should happen at some point.
There'll be at least one Hebrew song.
There will be.
Someone had asked, do you have less musical numbers in this one? Did you want more, or did you have any conversations about things some more?
We always want more. We love to sing, but we did what serves the story best, and I think we made the most of our number. I think it's one of the best numbers in the film, and leaves plenty more possibilities for number 3, 4, 5, 7, 12.
It's a pretty cool thing to leave a project and hope that, you know, people will want more. You know, I think that's what we both embraced. Is like, yeah, we could have probably peppered 3 or 4 treble songs throughout the film, but that's not the story that we're telling this time, and that leaves an opportunity for people to maybe make their voice heard and ask for some more, you know, Troublemakers and burgundy blazers.
And I want.
There you go, right?